Okay, welcome to another episode of the Audio Program Council.
Hello.
This is the Omega Condor. This is Bilth. And this is JT Bonnie. Whatever. Bonnie. Welcome back, guys. So, perhaps maybe to just quickly preface kind of what's been going on, we
Schedule.
had a bit of a technical malfunction last week. And so we fixed it though, basically, and that's all you need to know, I guess. No need to know any more specifics, but we fixed it.
Yeah.
Why does everyone look so guilty?
What?
We're all
Anybody
guilty.
could-
I'm not guilty of anything.
We're all a little guilty.
Everyone's a little bit guilty sometimes.
I don't know what you're talking about.
We each had a hand in it, and we're sorry.
So we
But
had
we're
some
here now.
episodes. They cannot be salvaged. So here we are again to bring you the hot stuff.
Good.
So,
Literally.
has everybody seen the first half of Ahsoka?
Yes.
No,
I
but
have not.
Bilth doesn't care about the spoilers, and he already knows. So it's
I have
fair.
seen weird screenshots online of Anakin Skywalker doing this face.
Yeah. I knew it would be up your alley, Bilth.
Well, I mean, let's get into it.
I
Let's
think
talk
we've
about it.
tread that ground at this point.
Well, let's talk about it though. I think kind of one of the first things that stood out to me is that everyone, especially on Twitter and in the Star Wars fandom, made a big deal about who that Inquisitor guy was going to be. And it turns out he's just a creation of the Night Sister. He's just made using Night Sister magic. And so it's one of those things again where it's like Twitter, social media hypes up this one character and they ask all these questions. Who is he? Who is he? Is he Sam Witwer? Is he Starkiller from The Force Unleashed? Like,
I have
so
no doubt that
would
was
be
probably
so
Sam
cool.
Witwer.
So
But-
many rumors were happening with that, surrounding that, and then once again, it just turns out to be it's just another character. It's no one.
Bring
Let's not
Starkiller
ma-
back to
It's
the
smoke.
fold,
No,
baby.
I agree,
If
but
Thrawn can get rebooted, Starkiller
I
can
agree,
get
but
rebooted
that's
and
not
included.
the point I'm trying to make. The point I'm trying to make is we don't have to make a big deal about every new character that shows up in a show, and if they can be this or that, some kind of legacy character. Sometimes it's just a new character. Just let it
Don't
be.
make a big deal out of it. Sebas, the whole show
Sebas.
is based... Yo, Sebas. The whole
Sebas.
show is based off of, hey, look, it's a character you recognize from a cartoon.
Not
Isn't
the
that
whole
cool?
show. Not the whole show.
Well,
This
yeah,
is
but you're
Rebels
saying...
Season 5.
Yeah, it's Rebels Season 5. You're
Hey,
saying
man.
that shouldn't be the whole thing, but that
One
is the
of
whole
my-
thing. That's
my
half of the show's
favorite-
magic trick.
I disagree with you already because my favorite character on this show is a character that has never appeared in any sort of Star Wars lore, and it's the new Jedi, or if he is not, I don't know what he is, but he clearly was a Jedi before. But it's Dagonet's character, Deg. I love him. He's a scene stealer,
He's one of the standouts, in my opinion, for Ahsoka.
100%.
I don't have a good overall opinion of the material so far.
I like, and I think the fight. Where were these types of fight scenes in the sequel films? Is what I'm asking. These lightsaber fights are great.
That's because all these people who are using the
they're-
lightsabers have training. The only person who should have had good lightsaber choreography was Kylo Ren, and even he didn't get good lightsaber choreography.
We
Are
can
you
crap
telling
about
me?
the sequel trilogy all we want, but alas, did you guys see One Piece?
Yeah, I've seen the first two
I
episodes.
did. I've seen the first
I have.
two
That was a
episodes.
good. I like what I've seen, and I'm not familiar with One Piece, but
I
the
like-
Netflix show, I
It
dug
had to grow on me.
The fight that he has with the guy with the scissor hands was sick.
I haven't gotten that far.
Oh, oops.
I mean, I've seen the original anime, so I...
Yeah, you know who I'm talking
Yeah.
about, right?
And the fact that they
Yeah.
try to one-for-one recreate as much as they can,
Well-
my guess would be because there's a lot of, in my opinion, fluff.
Let's,
Well,
it's
apparently
hard,
these television
it's hard.
miniseries are. We have multiple that are making, additional contributions to already existing animated shows.
Well, I mean, it, like, watching the first episode, I'm like, oh, this covers, like, 7 or 8 episodes in the anime. Like, that hour was
Yeah.
just condensed down, and I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah, because it.
Well, I mean, you kind of have to though.
Well, yeah, because they add a lot of fluff to the episodes in the anime because they're trying to keep up with on pace with the mangaka as much as they can. Another thing, there are a few issues I have with this show. I think it's a great adaptation overall, but I do take issue with a few things.
Such
as the most glaring issue for me was the casting of young Luffy.
You don't like?
The casting of young
I've heard
Luffy,
your take on this.
of child Luffy.
Oh, the child one. Yeah.
It's not my favorite, but I don't see
Okay, but he doesn't have the same accent as Luffy, first of all.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
He's not... He doesn't look Hispanic. He looks he looks mixed, but like he doesn't look like it's this... It looks it, but it's not it, and him not having an accent makes it that much more glaring.
Yeah, but he's also not really in the show anymore, you know. So it's...
No, they still have. I mean, I guess not. Yeah, I haven't gotten to the part where Shanks gets his arm cut off. So,
right.
I'm like, could you not get a kid with that accent, or a kid that could do that accent,
or get a kid that can act?
Yeah, that too.
God.
That too. Also, the devil fruit looked
Condor,
like
with your hot
the
takes.
devil fruit looked like a cake pop. The gum fruit looked like a cake pop. It did not look like a piece of fruit.
Okay, well, coming from the innocent,
fruit?
Coming from an innocent view of someone that has
pop.
not seen this series before, I just respect the energy balance. This show has a very non-cringy camp about it. Because usually when you lean too far into those fantastical anime elements, a lot of these
Cowboy
live-action
Bebop.
adaptations,
Cowboy
Bebop specifically guilty AF of this stuff. Which is why I'm surprised that Netflix is producing this one too. But you can tell that there's just a total vibe shift.
I want to piggyback off of Bilth. I think it's one of the better, and it's so hard to adapt anime anyways to real life. It's so difficult. Like ridiculously.
You guys seen Dragon Ball Evolution?
Yeah. Ridiculously difficult. So the fact that it's one of the better ones that I've seen so far, and it kind of gives me hope that maybe Avatar will be, somewhat decent, but I definitely still have my reservations about that show, especially since the original creators left. So,
right, which is something that this show doesn't have a problem with. The mangaka was involved with the whole thing, which you can definitely tell in how genuine the energy is. There's real energy to the series, and whenever you see these guys do some over-the-top stuff, or that one military character have an iron jaw, it makes sense. Everyone's just cool with it.
I guess that also just bodes the question, should some animated shows or films be left animated and never touched in real life adaptation?
Cowboy Bebop, they tried doing a shot-for-shot recreation, and the problem with that is, like, even with the angles that they were shooting at...
I'll tell you what the problem is. They didn't use enough practical effects. They were trying to put it all into CGI.
Yeah, they agreed, but I'm saying even the way it was shot to look like you were reading a manga or watching an anime. But the problem is, and we've established this talking about Ahsoka with each other because nobody has heard us talk about Ahsoka. Anyway.
Lost to the ether.
Wait. This is the first time we're talking about Ahsoka. What are you talking
Translating animation to live action
Nothing ever happened.
is a lot more clunky, and shooting a live action piece like it's an anime makes it seem clunky if the editing isn't correct. So Cowboy Bebop was doomed to fail from the start because they didn't have the insight to make, like, their editors didn't know when to make those cuts. It needed to be quicker. It was too heavy. It was lagging, which is why the pacing seemed off.
I also understand overusing the CGI in it because I know practicality is always better, but you can only go so far in an anime with practicality because anime is not practical. It is not.
Full disclosure: I only seen the first episode of Cowboy Bebop because I couldn't watch anymore.
It's bad.
Like we all know that anime takes animation to the limit and then blows past it. It is some crazy shit happens in anime. Like how how do you expect
true,
them to be practical all the time with that? You know, you can't.
See, I don't expect them to be practical. That's not what I'm expecting. But I do expect a solid adaptation because I have a cool one in my head. And I don't know how to do it.
I mean, what are you talking about? It's like Blade Runner meets The Fifth Element. That's Cowboy
exactly.
Bebop.
Exactly. Like could easily do it.
It can be done.
Yeah,
in One Piece, they have that one scene in the anime, right, where he's battling that dragon, and there's like that whole like that blue.
I saw that for the first time recently.
Yeah, how on earth are they gonna do that? How are they gonna adapt that in real life?
Obviously gonna be CGI.
I was imagining it, dude.
You saw the CGI dragon. We got a CGI dragon in Shang-Chi, and I'm sorry, that was not good. That like a very similar scene in terms of like how they used the dragon, what the dragon was doing. Shang-Chi couldn't do it. If a studio that big can't really do it correctly, I can't imagine that a TV show or a company like Netflix is going to be able to get that done in the right way. I just don't see it happening. So it's kind of difficult for me to...
Well, it will probably be a spectacle in a separate way. They are separate mediums. And I think that what it's done so far, like you were saying, Reeves, it covers like 8 episodes of the normal show in one. And it seems like that because it's an hour long, which for this show, from what I've seen, that's not the vibe. It's like a very breezy half-hour adventure series. And Cowboy Bebop, I felt that was a huge detriment of it. The fact that each episode was an hour long, the fact that there was a lot of melodrama that it was dedicated to, it was very soap opera-y. But this one, it's doing the same thing, but within that hour, I think it's taking advantage of the medium of the limited series in a really cool way. It's using the budget, it's using the character establishment, and it's using the camp. These people are allowed to express themselves, and the casting, I know that you have a problem with the young version of Luffy, but no, that main Luffy, I really like that guy, and I like everyone else that's making up the main power.
Everybody else I'm on board with in terms of casting. It's just the
Fight choreo is A+.
Also, something else that this is a little nitpicky, but in regards to the CGI, they did change some scenes set in daytime to nighttime. So the CGI would be easier to render and not look as bad.
That's fairly common practice right now, but
in the first episode,
even after that, they're putting so many CGI-driven scenes in dark settings, so the CGI is not looking as awful. If the contrast was brighter, I guarantee the CGI would not look good.
Yeah, that's kind of common VFX practice right now. Right, and which is why it's a shortcut that I've heard a lot of productions do that. In fact, it's gotten to the point where, unfortunately, I can't remember the exact film, but there was a scene recently that got like kind of a big reaction from people because it used special effects, but it also was shot at night practically. And apparently the visuals were very unusual because it was actually shot at night. I wish I knew the exact example. But yeah, that's becoming rarer and rarer.
Well, I don't know. I'm excited I'm going to keep watching One Piece and see where it goes.
I am too.
Me too. I'm down. As a new One Piece person, this seems like a cool way to enter the fold.
And I agree with Condor. There's issues with it, but I am enjoying it.
No, ultimately, it is probably the greatest anime adaptation we've gotten ever. In terms
it's
of
confident. It's confident as heck.
In terms of its accuracy and also its faithfulness to the source material.
Well, did anybody ever see the One Note adaptation?
The what?
Death Note?
Death Note?
Or the
Death Note.
Yes, with Nat Wolff.
Yes, I've seen the Death Note adaptation, and I've also seen
Willem Dafoe was really good as that demon.
I like the Willem Dafoe.
Willem Dafoe was the
that
only
was a
good
very
casting
wasted,
choice as Ryu.
yeah, very wasted performance.
Will we ever get a Yu-Gi-Oh adaptation, real life adaptation? And could they do it, Condor? This is a question for Condor, obviously.
In a world where Moon Knight exists, maybe.
And
well, audience members, so you know, Condor is our Yu-Gi-Oh. Well, Barney and Condor are Yu-Gi-Oh connoisseurs. So, what do you guys think about that?
I would say it is doable. There are a few fan series on YouTube that are that have tackled a live action version of Yu-Gi-Oh, but there is only one that I think actually comes close to succeeding at delivering a solid product in the way that it's shot, in the way that they utilize the effects, because everyone else, what sets them apart is that everybody else just takes a PNG image of the card artwork, and when they put the card in the dual disc, they just put the PNG on in the After Effects, and that's the hologram for the duel. What they did for this series is they essentially took the animations from the show. So they're limited to the cards that were used in the show, but they use them in a very interesting way because it's not like they're using the character decks to a T. And they make the story very engaging. It's a Yu-Gi-Oh fan series, so it's going to be camp. It's Yu-Gi-Oh.
You're never gonna win me now.
Fan
film has been poison for me since this is the year of Spider-Man Lotus.
I've not seen Spider-Man.
Poison.
I've not seen. Anyway.
Poison.
Actually, who would you cast as Yugi?
Who would I cast as Yugi?
Timothy Chalamet.
Oh my god. No.
Timothy Chalamet is not coming anywhere near my project of my hypothetical
He's
Yugi.
Joey.
I will not tolerate Chalamet hate right now, dude. I will not tolerate it.
By the way,
are you
especially when he's dating Kylie Jenner right now, Kardashian, mogul.
Actually, I want Jared
that
Leto as my Pegasus.
no effect on
note,
this.
Jared
stand-up.
Leto as my Pegasus.
Side note, Bill. It sounds like through the Discord, your audio is coming out through your AirPods instead of your microphone.
Oh, God, not
Oh
again.
no.
Not again.
Oh no.
No.
Oh no.
It might not affect your recording if your microphone is the default microphone on your Streamlabs
It
settings.
is. I already checked. So my recording should be the Shure, but I will go ahead and change that on the Discord right now.
Thank you.
Pause, everybody.
I'm gonna give it a second. I'm gonna give it a second for Bill to
I mean,
Thank you.
well,
try talk.
ain't no
talk
dead
again?
air here.
Talk again.
Wait,
That's weird.
no, it's not done yet. Oh, yes. Here we go. Input, yeah?
Yeah. Input.
All right, fellas.
Talking.
How do I sound now?
You sound much better. Thank you.
All right, cool. Thank you. Thanks for catching that, Condor.
You got it. Okay.
Nice.
All right. Here we go. Back editing Condor. Back to regular programming. Okay. For the Yugi casting, I would.
Oh
That's
my God.
tough, because Yu-Gi-Oh is set in Japan, and I don't know a lot of Japanese actors. I'm not very familiar. Yeah. Unless it's Joey, who I would cast someone from Brooklyn. Joey Wheeler, my monsters, Yug.
Me
But
monsters,
even
Yugi.
I mean, like, even Jonochi is supposed to be Japanese, but the reason Joey is blonde is a cultural thing, because back then blonde hair was considered like being in association with delinquents or something like that. Anyway,
because they
I'm
died.
walking here. I'm a delinquent.
A delinquent since birth,
maybe
Barney.
I don't particularly like Timothy Chalamet, but I might actually cast him as Pegasus in my.
Oh,
No!
turntables.
Not Jared Leto.
I like Jared Leto
Yeah,
even
I
less.
I love Jared Leto
I
as
would
Pegasus.
not-
He gives such Pegasus energy.
Jared Leto
does
giving
have
it.
Leto.
Leto.
I just couldn't
It's a
deal with that.
Morbin
I could
time,
not deal with that
Yug.
method shit on my set, dude.
He's gonna send
dude,
you a box of dead rats.
What are you talking about method? He just challenged you to a duel every day.
He would send you a mummy,
Okay.
an actual mummy boy.
He would send
Like
you
he
a
would
different
dig,
deck
he would
every
dig
day.
one up.
Get
he would have
trap
contacts.
tricks, Pegasus.
He would have contacts in Cairo. Get some mummies on the black market and send them to you, and be like, "These are the ones that the creator of the manga originally envisioned. Look at them.
Oh my god.
Smell them."
Okay, so and then it depends. How many movies am I getting? Am I getting one Yu-Gi-Oh movie?
You
We're
get
talking
one
trilogy.
shot to prove your worth.
One
Am
trilogy.
I telling an?
No.
Am I telling an?
You get
The
one
two-
shot.
The 2 are not confirmed, but it could be a trilogy if things go well.
Depending on how good the first one does at the box
here's
office.
the thing. I don't know that I would make if I'm doing an origin story for Yu-Gi-Oh, I don't know that I would make the first movie about duel monsters. I would put it back to its horror manga roots when Yu-Gi would straight up murder people for cheating in games. Like, for example, there is a scene from Season 0 and also a scene from the manga. It's the same thing, but...
I watched the Fox Toon Kids!
So this guy has this escaped convict has hostages in this burger mart, this fast food restaurant that Anzu, aka Taya, is working at, and he has her blindfolded, and he's like, everybody get on the ground and close your eyes. And he sits at the table and he points his gun at Yugi. He's like, you come over here, pour me some booze. Like a burger restaurant has, like a fast food restaurant has booze on hand. And that's beside the point. Anyway. And Yugi like does his little Yu-Gi-Oh transformation, and he's like, all right, here, I'm going to start pouring the vodka. And he's like, oh, also light this cigarette for me. And he's like, okay, how about a game though? And he's like, a game? And he's like, yeah, we each choose one finger to kill each other with, and we can't move any other muscle in our body. And the guy's like, that's easy. I'll use my trigger finger for my gun. And Yugi's like, cool, I'll use my thumb. And as he's pouring the vodka, he's like, game start. And the vodka starts to overflow, and he lights the cigarette, and it's a flint light. It's a Zippo, so it doesn't go out when you let it go. And he's like, what are you doing? He's like, oh, well, you're trying to cheat, so penalty game. And he drops the lighter, and the vodka that he soaked in makes him catch fire, and he murders a man. Yeah. It's...
would this trilogy be rated R?
It could be. Honestly...
No! You have to appease the hires.
Okay, maybe
you have to make it toy
sellable. It will be a hard PG... It'll be a PG-13.
A hard PG-13.
Yeah, like as close.
Was Moon Knight an R?
No, it was
that
PG-13
TVMA
or TV PGV or whatever. So,
okay.
I think the first one will be about when Yugi first completes the Millennium Puzzle, and the series of events that follow shortly afterwards, aka him
Seto Kaiba
murdering a few people, him meeting Kaiba. Their first, and it'll probably end with their first. The movie will end with their first duel after Kaiba has kidnapped his grandfather and ripped the blue eyes, and then after that duel, Exodia obliterate. That's the climax. The falling action is the announcement for the Duelist Kingdom tournament, and that's what leads us into the second movie.
Very nice. I'm glad that you've thought about this for a long time, Reeves. Very cool. I mean, Condor.
Thank you. Yeah. No, I just came up with that off the dome.
And for Seto Kaiba, I choose me.
Speaking of limited TV series, they are announcing, or Christopher Paolini announced that an Aragon series is coming.
That was announced last year.
Yeah, but it's like...
It's official now?
Yeah, it's like official.
Whenever the strike is over.
Whenever the strike is over. So, I mean, personally... Aragon is my favorite book series of all time, so I'm excited.
Right on.
Just because
I'm happy for you and your ilk, Seabass.
What is
just because the film was bad.
It was.
Everybody gets a shot.
What is your ideal
casting?
It was
fine. It was just generic.
Oh man, you know who I really would want to see play Aragon, and I think could play a good Aragon.
Timothy Chalamet.
Timothy Chalamet. No, I think Tom Holland would actually play a good Aragon.
Yeah. God, someone else.
But I know, but I do think he fits it well.
He's taking a break.
I understand that.
Timothy?
But he fits it well. Tom Holland. I think Tom Holland could fit the role really well for Aragon, and I would cast someone crazy to play the wizard guy. What's his name? The Shade.
Do
you remember?
Jared Leto.
Yes. Jared Leto to play the Shade.
Jared Leto.
That's even.
And then Saphira,
featuring Jared Leto as
Saphira be voiced by Cate Blanchett. Done.
Solid choice. Always a solid choice.
Yeah. And I would bring back Jeremy Irons to play Braun.
No. Too old to begin the trials.
Okay, I feel that though because he was such a good mentor character. It's
He
just
was.
his arc was so cliched in that movie. And the
Well-
way that they burned him was the exact way they burned Qui-Gon, and I was
Well-
like, damn, dude.
It's so cliched in the book, so there's no way to get away from that as well.
I guess. I just like the way he played that role. I just like Jeremy Irons in general, I suppose.
Yeah, Christopher
Jeff-
Paolini definitely
Jeff Bridges.
watched Phantom Menace and was like, "This is gonna be my Qui-Gon."
Okay,
He
I'm
is
sorry.
my
We have to keep
Qui-Gon.
we have to keep this train going, honestly. Barney, what's your really personal series and what's your dreamcasting / movie
Ooh.
idea / TV idea for it?
Ooh, I like this
not-
segment.
Not Yu-Gi-Oh.
So it wouldn't be Yu-Gi-Oh, and it probably wouldn't be. Oh my god! I
Pokemon.
already
Would you-
forgot
would
what
you
yours was,
retry
Seabass.
Cowboy Bebop?
Pokemon maybe, Justin? Pokemon? Live action?
Well, see,
Live action Indigo League?
It's
already been done.
already been done to the best of its ability, and I think.
No, but what about like a
Pikachu
live action
did a
Indigo League?
Oh,
fantastic
Detective
job.
Pikachu.
No, fuck that.
Really?
Anytime you yeah. And here's what: anytime you do like the tournament arc, it's gonna be so campy. You need to create different stories in the universes in which you've already established. Detective Pikachu, wow. The game was like I didn't really play the game, but it seemed like nuanced enough where you could devise a story out of that and not upset any of the fan base.
I'm gonna be really honest. I would totally watch a live action Indigo League. I would. I really would actually. To see Pokemon come into live action, kind of
and I
like they
think-
look like in Detective Pikachu, I
thought
really
it
would.
did a really good job at that. I thought the battle system did a little
Yeah,
small,
but-
small Shang-Chi type
Yeah,
of
but
thing.
I want to see actual Pokemon, like the lore. I want to see the actual, like an Ash Ketchum,
The
an Ash
real
Ketchum story.
Pokemon.
Give me a story about a Team Rocket member falling out of sorts with the rocket and them trying to like catch him, or him like stealing all of what they stole from other people.
I want Meow. I want to see Meow going on a solo journey
Meow.
Yeah.
to find himself. Meow.
They
I
to
already
find
did that in the
himself.
show.
To find himself.
Yeah. Give
I want
me
Meowth.
give me a
What's he
Pokemon
really
story in the
think?
vein of Star Wars Force Unleashed or Star Wars Force Awakens.
A hack and slash Pokemon game would be sweet. Playing
Yeah,
as
a
a
hack and
Incineroar or Blaziken.
Or like a show, a standalone show about Eevee and Eevee's journey into all of them, Flareon, Umbreon.
Yeah, all of her evolutions.
Yeah, all the Eevee evolutions.
You're talking about Let's Go Eevee?
Yeah,
But
like
that-
a
that'll
movie
be-
adaptation or show adaptation
Yeah.
of Let's Go Eevee.
That'll be me. The Pokemon Let's Go Eevee or the Pokemon
Mm-hmm.
Rescue Team. I'd like to do one of those two. I think it'd
Dang,
work
dude.
really well.
Honestly, even if they maybe a live adaptation reboot of the Mewtwo film, ooh,
No.
ooh, I'd watch
No.
it.
They already
I'd
did.
watch
A,
it.
they already did a
The
CG one.
3D looks so
Yeah,
bad.
I know.
So very bad.
Yeah, but that's
I mean,
not live action. That
Mewtwo
was
Strikes
live action.
Back. Mewtwo Strikes Back, the VHS tape, is a very cool experience.
I liked, and maybe this is a hot take, maybe it's not. The best part of that movie for me is the little short film at the beginning of it, where they drop them off at a daycare.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
That is a good one.
In other news, I saw that there is one of the writers has a fully developed script for a new Pirates of the Caribbean movie, and they're just waiting for the strikes to go down to see if they can start it. And they're interested in bringing Johnny Depp back again.
Interesting.
And he has displayed interest in coming back.
Of
After
course
all
he's
this time.
interested. Of course he's
Yeah.
interested. Will
they
he be
do-
able to?
But
Is
they,
another question.
but apparently, like Jerry Bruckheimer and all them in that studio and all that are saying that there's a fully fledged script and it is supposedly very good. That's what I keep reading. So,
We'll see.
Tom Cruise said The Flash was the greatest superhero movie that ever.
greatest
was
PR
filmed.
stunt of all time. My God, I will never get over that. I'll never get over that. Greatest PR stunt of all time.
All right, fellas. To finish off this little train of IP wish list talking, mine would be Metroid, the video game series that stars
Metroid.
Samus Aran. Yeah, I'm talking Metroid. Samus Aran. The games are characterized by a sense of isolation and a sense of dread. And I'm talking, so we've seen a lot of really inspired 2D animation in the TV sphere lately. The closest example I can think of is My Adventures with Superman. But also, all anime in general. Also, the Amazon Prime show Invincible. Very cool. Those kinds of art styles. I'm talking Genndy Tartakovsky style direction.
Tartakovsky.
Yeah, dude, the guy that did the Clone Wars, Primal, Samurai Jack. Him, or one person of his ilk, maybe a person that worked on My Adventures with Superman.
You love
Adult
2D
Swim
animation.
in general.
You love 2D animation.
I
You
love
It's an excellent
2D.
When it's
Yeah,
done
you do.
well,
And I'm saying a Metroid film that is mostly silent, kind of like the Genndy Tartakovsky series Primal.
Mm-hmm.
And you just see Samus going around the planet, stalking the Metroid Queen, trying to eradicate the species. And Mother Brain is on her tail. And it's all told
Are we
with
gonna get a
just,
little
like,
bit of Ridley?
animation. And Ridley is stalking her because he's the leader of the Space Pirates, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think
see
you should
this.
put Ridley in your first one.
I mean, Ridley's the commander of the Space Pirates. He's kind of really key to the whole story.
Mm-hmm.
And Mecha Ridley is the further version when he gets his ass kicked and then he comes back later as a half mechanical beast.
I know they're making a Smash movie, but I'm surprised that you didn't say a Super Smash Brothers project of any kind.
Okay,
Like,
They are
so-
not making a Smash movie.
They are not. And to what Condor was saying earlier, in terms of fan films, I know Spider-Man Lotus is a travesty amongst creativity, but there are good fan projects out there, and one of the ones that our conversation earlier was making me think of is a Smash Brothers series called Smash Club, where it's kind of like Fight Club but not. And it's about the Mario Bros. Well, actually, it's not called Smash Club. I forget what it's called, but it's the Mario Bros. And it's Mario and Luigi as actual plumbers in New York. And then they go into the Mushroom Kingdom, but they're buff dudes who do a lot of fight choreography. And Smash Brothers is basically the reference for it because they're fighting Ness, they're fighting Kirby. Everybody shows up. It's very silly, and it's a good web series.
It's a good web series.
Good out of 5.
I mean, a Smash movie is coming. I'm sure there is. I know it's
A
not,
Smash movie
but
would
it
be
will
tricky
come.
as heck.
Not
That-
really.
that would
with
be a
what
high-
with what they did with Super Mario Bros. They could easily do one.
That would be balancing so many stories. And in the Super Mario Brothers movie by Illumination, they didn't even tell one.
Huh?
There's no story in that movie.
No,
It's
there is. What are you talking
it's
about?
it's stimulation all the way, baby. There ain't no story in that movie.
I don't agree with you. I think there's
I
a
mean,
story.
I love Metroid, but also Mario Bros. Is basically my favorite fictional thing of all time. My webcam is on a life-size version of the question mark block, like Mario, the best. I do wish that it was more of a story about Mario and Luigi, and that they had actual characters and
Are you
whatnot.
talking about the new one?
I'm talking about the movie that just came out. Yeah, if we're talking a Smash movie made from that same DNA,
They had a
hopeful.
sample size, but the DK Mario fight. That was like a 1v1, baby. That was your sample size. And then
I
we
mean,
had the sample Mario.
I feel
part.
like you're being too harsh on it, to be honest, the movie.
Okay, I'm not saying it was bad. I'm saying that is not the direction I would want the Smash Bros. Adaptation to go. I would want it to, and you just,
I would.
I guess
All right,
you just
Mario
revealed
fan.
my bias for this, but
Do
I
you-
would want it to be a 2D animation.
Oh, that's disgusting.
And it would be a television show, and it would be going on for a pretty
How
long time.
can you want Smash to be 2D when Smash itself, the game, is not 2D?
And
That makes
okay,
no sense.
Did you just hear yourself, Seabass? Smash the game is 2-dimensional.
No, but not really, though. You know what I'm saying. It's not. It's
The
not.
art style
fighter.
is not.
The style that you want it to be 2D is not that style.
Have you seen the Smash trailers for the Kid Icarus cast?
It is not Clone Wars 2D style.
They
Smash would
render
not work like
they
that.
render it in a 2D anime style.
And plus, if you watch Brawl or the Solo, it's 3D anyways.
I know it's
Especially
3D.
Brawl. Yeah.
I think that a 2D anime style show that was long running and was a huge saga with the Smash cast would be a very cool exercise and very popular.
Nah. I think the animation for the Super Smash Bros. Movie would be way better.
You think a 3D animated illumination film of Super Smash Bros. Will be better than a long scale anime? Okay.
Absolutely.
Oh.
Okay.
Absolutely. Would you?
Some of them,
Okay.
I feel like
Those
I feel like
every
after
character
seeing
was
Spider-Verse, that could work.
But,
because people like
every-
Mr. Game & Watch.
every character was so
It'd be
good though
perfect.
in that film. Peach was amazing. Donkey Kong was amazing. Mario and Luigi were both amazing. Like what is the argument? What is the argument here?
I'm not saying it's aesthetic. I'm talking about the animation. I think that it would be cool if it was animated and it was 2D. But maybe that's my bias. You just called out that I really like 2D animation, and honestly, you're right.
You do love 2D games as well.
I mean,
yeah.
in the same vein of Smash, kind of. What about a game about like Fortnite? Would that be like Ready Player One?
2D Fortnite?
Could you make a
2D battle royale?
If
How'd
they
that
made
even
a Starship Troopers style satire of military life, but it's using Fortnite as the allegory, that would be awesome.
Would you like to know more?
Could you even do a 2D battle royale? How would that even work?
That would be interesting, actually.
Yeah.
Like a side-scrolling 2D?
A side-scrolling 2D battle royale.
That'd be funny.
Yeah.
Honestly, even a Smash... I was surprised they didn't do this, but even a Smash Brothers Battle Royale where it takes place on the map that's like Palutena's Temple, but like expanded and remastered, like huge, and it's
Like-
100 players at the same time.
But how would
Like
it...
your circles would do like this on different parts of the screen, and you have to get there.
You'd have to
Yes.
find a way to stop people like overusing the same character, because then it'd just be like 100 players in the lobby using Zelda.
I mean, maybe,
Zelda
but
only.
that's a situation where you also it's equally advantageous to be good at one-on-one as it is to be good at moving around and
Right.
just So each character would be able to kind of shine. I don't know. That'd be a cool idea.
Yeah, I agree. I would play it. I would obviously play it.
Battle Royale Smash.
Yeah.
A pin in it. I want a 2D. I want a 2D Metroid film, please. I want 2D Genndy Tarkovsky
Speaking of
directed hour-and-a-half Metroid movie. Thank you.
Speaking of these fighting games, me and Bill were actually talking about how we need more of these types of Smash fighting games. We were talking about the Star Wars one. Did you ever play Revenge of the Sith, the video game? Do you remember the fighting style
The
that you could
lightsaber
on
fighting?
the multiplayer? Ooh! Tell me that wasn't
just-
fun. Tell me that wasn't...
The Jedi Duel mode in that game is so
Amazing.
cool. And
Amazing.
there's context-sensitive like arrangements. So if you're doing certain characters on the stage where they battled in the films, like old Obi-Wan and Darth
The
Vader
cutscenes.
on the Death Star,
Yeah.
then the cutscenes become what the old film was, and it does the lines and everything. It's a very cool side mode for an obscure licensed game
Yeah,
from the mid-2000s.
I was telling Bill that I got the official video game book for that game specifically so I could find out and see what all the lightsaber combos were in that multiplayer mode so I could use all of them. Because everyone had their own unique individual combo move. Like Anakin, for example, remember Anakin could do that corkscrew? Where he would just like corkscrew into someone?
Spamming that stuff all the way to the bank, honestly.
Yeah, like it was amazing. Did you ever play that, Reeves?
No, I had a friend who owned the game, but he would never give me a turn.
Obi-Wan had the most badass force push.
Yeah, he did.
I
Anakin
also,
could use
I also
Wow.
played it.
Force
Boom.
lightning, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, he could. After
I
a
only
after
played
a
it
certain
at
point
a
in the
friend's
game,
house.
you had to upgrade to it.
Yes.
He had
Reeves,
to
I
become
mean,
dark.
Condor, I am so sorry to hear that tragic tale. I had a friend that owned that game, and I did have to beg them, but once I did, we played the Jedi Duel mode all the time, even though the compromise was that I had to watch them complete the story segments on their own.
Why are you guys having such shitty friends?
That game was so
What?
heated.
What?
It was. I got threatening messages in my yearbook, like I'll be back for that ass over the summer.
Yeah, 100%. That game was just so ahead of its time in terms of the fighting for Star Wars.
This is a
Yeah.
shot in the dark, but have you guys ever played the game? I played this recently on my modded Vita for the first time.
The
It's
Vita.
It's a
Shout out.
PlayStation. Yes, shout out to the PlayStation Vita. Dead too soon. The PlayStation 1 video game, Star Wars: The Masters of Terakazi. Have you guys heard of this?
That is a deep cut.
No.
It was a blockbuster like mainstay. It's janky as heck. You can play as most characters, including sand people, and it's one of the worst fighting games ever made in the history of ever, and it's hilarious. We should stream it one day.
Have you played Jedi Academy 2?
Yes.
Or Jedi Knight 2, Jedi Academy?
They're on. You can get them on. It's on the Switch. Baby. It's on the Switch.
Yes, it is.
I had them downloaded on the Switch before it got stolen.
But Masters of Terakazi, just to cut it short, is a Mortal Kombat clone, but it's got those really butt ugly early 3D graphics. And it's just if you want the absolute like most far away version of Star Wars that you can possibly get, that's a good flavor to pick.
Did you guys ever play the version exclusives for Soul Calibur?
Yes, as Yoda. As Yoda. Oh yeah, I had that for the 360, the Xbox 360.
So you got Yoda.
Yeah, I had Yoda.
So the PlayStation got Vader.
Yeah,
I had Yoda. And Star Killer. They also got Star Killer.
The Soul Calibur games were fun. They were okay.
I mean, I liked Soul Calibur 2 for the GameCube, and the GameCube version has Link as a playable character.
Yeah.
Who else are you gonna play as when Link is a character? And you can use the great fairy sword and everything. It's
before friggin' Mortal Kombat was doing it, Soul Calibur was doing it as just.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
Bill,
taking it home.
I was telling you, Bill, on your Vita, download that Tom and Jerry Smash game. It's fun.
Multiverses.
There's a Smash game for just the Tom and Jerry universe, and it's a 3D Smash game. And
from the mid-2000s.
Fantastic. I used to play it on my PlayStation 2 all the time. It was amazing.
I'm pretty sure Barney
is going to come out soon.
Yeah, I can't wait.
I am excited to get back into that.
As a newly minted Game of Thrones fan, I want to main Arya Stark.
But honestly, Arya wasn't that good of a character.
She is. She's technical. I have it downloaded if you ever want to throw down in the lab.
Can we still play it? Can we still play it, Justin?
Yeah, you can play every character that's come out in the lab.
Oh, okay.
You can go in there and play Black Adam.
There's no online battles anymore, right?
Rick, not yet.
Yeah. Yeah, me and Bonnie played the online that for a minute. We got into it and we played a lot.
People with Finn.
Like
Finn's
I was
my boy.
I mained Batman, and I did main Arya for a little bit, but I got off of Arya and I played Batman. Superman was overpowered as well.
Oh, I
would probably choose Batman.
Woo.
Yeah, Batman was just very, very cool because of all the technical stuff.
Batman, Shaggy, and Arya is who I want to play.
Shaggy was overpowered.
Shaggy
was
OP.
Yeah,
Shaggy was
good.
Shaggy and Velma were OP.
But I think it was
good,
very fun.
Can't wait.
Wonder Woman was okay. I didn't really play as Wonder Woman too much.
Wonder Woman was technical. Jake was okay.
But yeah, I mean, we had fun. The amount of time that we played, we had fun.
I'm excited. I'm excited to play it after the hiatus is over. But Barney, Power Stone. I heard you talk about it once. Was that you?
Who?
Hearthstone?
Power Stone on the Sega Dreamcast.
Power Stone. That was me.
That was
was
you,
Condor.
Reeves. Okay, Reeves. Power Stone. Condor. Power Stone on the Dreamcast. Yes.
I played Power Stone 2 on the Dreamcast.
Power Stone 2 was the better one. It was so good.
Absolutely.
Oh my god, that stage where you're fighting on the airship, and then midway through the airship falls out of the sky while you're fighting. Heck
Dude,
yeah. But that Tom and Jerry game is a clone of Power Stone, not of Smash Bros.
Shit. A 3D platform fighter. That Sphinx
very
level was so hard. I could never beat it. It took me. I got so sweaty trying to beat that level.
Dude, I know. The reason that I was bringing up the airship is because I died a lot on the airship and the train. It kicked my ass. Because I was like 7 when I was playing.
Who was your main?
My main in that game, in Power Stone 2, my main was the shirtless guy, the main character who was on the box.
Gotcha. I had 2 mains: the samurai guy, and the cowboy guy.
Ooh, nice. 2
Ooh.
good things.
Nice.
Have you guys ever heard of PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale, the other Smash clone that died?
Yeah.
Could you really call that a Smash clone?
Yes, it's a Smash clone with PlayStation characters.
It's completely a Smash clone. In fact, it even does that
really different.
It does.
It definitely was Smash. It was Smash, the PlayStation version.
There was
the Nick its own
one.
Thing.
There was the Nick one, and there was the PlayStation one.
The PlayStation one was embarrassing a little bit because they used characters that Smash didn't. Like, instead of Solid Snake, who's in Smash Bros, it used Raiden, who's the secondary protagonist.
But you could also play as the guy from God of War.
Kratos.
What's his name again?
Oh, Kratos.
Kratos and Nathan Drake were mains. Yeah.
Sly the raccoon.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, all the characters were good. It's just, for some reason, the game didn't catch on. And, before Smash Bros. Did the same thing 3 years later, it was really interesting to see this game do the whole console portable thing. Even before the Switch was a twinkle in Nintendo's eye, they were doing, you can play it on the Vita, and it's the same exact game as on the PS3. So you can transfer your experience. And if you buy one game, you get both versions. Yeah, dude, it was ahead of its time. And then Smash Bros. Did the same thing with the 3DS and the Wii U 3 years later.
But honestly, my favorite thing about that era of gaming back then was, especially during the PSP, PS Vita, PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3 kind of time, was that you had to get... I would play the game on the 3 or the 2, but then I would get the PSP version because it was always a little different. Because it was, the game was made for the PSP in a different way, and I enjoyed doing like extra levels that were not in the PS2 or the PS3 version, that were in the PSP version maybe of the game.
That's really interesting.
Yeah, I thought that was a lot of fun to do that.
I agree. There was a unique piece of time in the late 2000s when HD was new, and the PS3 and the 360, they were the first HD consoles.
Yeah.
And all the other consoles were standard definition, like the PS2, but then the Wii, when that came out, even though it was part of the same generation as the PS3 and 360, it was on the PlayStation 2 graphical level, and it worked on standard definition television.
Well, the Wii,
so
the Wii
you
was
got
just
completely.
The Wii was just a GameCube in a fancy dress.
Exactly. So you got these PS2 games with motion control that were on the Wii, but they were also on the PS2 and PSP. So you had these separations of we're making a whole version for DS, we're making a whole version for Game Boy Advance, we're making a whole version for the Wii and PS2, we're making a 360 version. So games like Force Unleashed, Star Wars, like we were talking about earlier, there's 5 versions of that game. Yep. Sonic Unleashed, there's a PS2 Wii standard definition version, and then there's an HD version. They're completely different. The levels are completely different. And we were talking about this with the death of licensed games in the episode that shall not be mentioned because it can't be salvaged. But licensed games used to be a big deal, and they were based on a similar principle, where it's if it exists, we're releasing it for that console.
You would never survive in an alternative universe, Michael. Everybody remembers, well, I guess you guys wouldn't, because the universe doesn't exist anymore. Throw him in the padded room.
I'm sorry, Barney. I'm going to need you to unpack a little bit of that.
All right, so don't acknowledge the universe that doesn't exist anymore, you crazy person. It doesn't exist anymore.
The universe of standard definition
No,
games?
the universe of the episode that shall not be named because it was never released, so no one will ever hear about it.
I am so sorry for
Thank
referring
you,
to
Condor.
It's not canon.
It's legacy content. It doesn't exist.
I'm referring to non-canonical events. I'm so sorry. You have to read the legends to know what we're talking about.
Jesus.
Where's the transcript?
I don't understand. You don't want to be a completionist, but you're kind of for it.
Well, we've created lost media, so in that way, I guess I am a completionist.
If we ever get big enough, I'm going to piecemeal it one day.
Well, yeah, we'll find it one day, fellas, and we'll improvise what I maybe said as a group, and it will be hilarious.
Just sit down and watch Clone Wars. Just sit and watch Clone Wars. And watch Rebels while you're at it, too.
Rebels is good.
I mean, I'm sorry. Gravitating back to the PlayStation All-Stars game, okay, Barney, you're right. It was different. There's no center of gravity, so you're not smashing people. You're literally KOing them with special moves that you build a meter for. And that aspect was really cool, and
garbage. I hated it.
I thought it was cool.
Do you know what fighting game that I used to play a lot too that I thought was really fun? That was like a Smash type of game, Brawlhalla. I love that game.
Alright.
I played that for Brawlhalla.
Yeah, it's the free one that you can.
Yeah,
but
I spent a good amount of time playing that game, and I thought it was fantastic.
I like their ability to like bring in IPs from other sources, like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles or
Shovel Knight. I think Shovel Knight's
Shovel Knight's in Brawlhalla.
Very technical game. Very technical game.
Did anyone anyone here ever play Naruto Clash of Ninja 2?
Oh.
And I guess by extension Naruto Clash of Ninja?
Yeah.
Clash of Ninja?
It was
I don't think so.
Before the Ultimate Ninja Storm game series came out, those were the Naruto games to play. It was they were 2D Naruto fighting games, not platformers. Like you were basically in an open space, 1v1 or 2v2. When Clash of Ninja 2 came out, you could do 2v2s. And the way they handled that is they kind of like tilted the camera angle up, and you could like switch between your targets. Like it had an arrow in front of you that would point to the targeted player that you were fighting against.
What console is this on?
It was on the GameCube.
That sounds like Jump Force.
It was on.
I have a confession. I've never played Naruto, or I have never watched Naruto.
Oh.
Me neither, Barney. Don't worry.
Well, anyway, Naruto.
I have very limited Naruto experience.
Clash of Ninja 2 was just a straight up improvement on Naruto Clash of Ninja, because Naruto Clash of Ninja only covered up through the Land of Waves arc, which was super early on in the anime. So and there were only like 7 characters available. Or it's like it was Kakashi, Zabuza, Haku, Naruto, Sasuke, Sakura, Rock Lee, and then Naruto Fox Chakra unlocked, like the version 0 Fox Cloak.
If that's completely correct, you deserve a cookie for that comment.
Thank you. Yeah, leave it in the comment. Did I get it right? And I'll get a cookie.
Did he get it right? 9 out of 10? 10 out of 10? What was it, fellas? Let us know.
And then in Naruto Clash of Ninja 2, there were, I believe, 16 characters, which included, it was all of the Konoha 12, as well as Kakashi, Zabuza, Haku, because that game covered the beginning, like Land of Waves arc, up through like the Chunin exams, I think.
Man, I hope our audience is having an easier time than I am.
Yeah, same. I'm not literate in Naruto.
I'm sorry. I keep talking about Naruto. I just unlocked it.
I love Naruto, so I'm there with you.
To what you were saying, Barney, Jump Force. Jump Force is
Smash Bros. I know that one.
But that one's a 3D
fighter. The Naruto characters that were in that one.
That one's more akin, or like an arena fighter. That one's
shonen and
all right,
all-encompassing shonen.
All right, fellas.
But Naruto turned into an arena fighter game too.
Yeah, Ultimate Ninja Storm.
Yeah.
I'm about to lay some knowledge on y'all.
Okay.
So there was a Japanese thrift store that I grew up near, and they had a bunch of used Japanese video games, and one of the popular consoles that there were always cartridges for was the Nintendo DS, and there is a game that was not released in the United States that was a Jump Force game, and it was a 2D pixel-based Super Smash Flash. Did you guys play that?
No.
No, but I know what you're talking about.
Okay, so it was basically like a pixel art Smash Bros. Game using the Shonen Jump characters. So you got Goku, you got Luffy, you got Naruto, you got Brock Lee, you got all of those peeps in 2D fighting, like pixel art, whatnot. And it was
that's
a Smash
like your
clone.
dream. That's your
dream. That was my first import. That was the first game that I ever bought where I didn't speak the language. But I played it anyway because the DS, fun fact, is not region locked. So you can play a game from anywhere around the world on your system right now.
The consoles stopped being region locked a long time ago.
They did, and after that, the 3DS was region locked, and it was really annoying. And then after that, the Switch was not region locked, so it kind of just comes and goes.
Okay. What do you guys here? You guys are NTSC here, right?
We're NTSC, and
yeah,
you're the
I was
PAL region.
I was PAL. Yeah. I know, it was annoying. Every time, I remember because me and my family would come here to America, specifically to Florida, because they like to go to Disney World. And every time I'd come here and I would buy a game.
Buy all the games!
I would keep forgetting, because I had a PSP from Europe. and I would get a PSP game here, and it would never effing work, and I would forget because it was a bloody NTSC game and not a PAL game.
You should have been playing DS. It
so
would have
annoying, so annoying. Every time I'd always forget.
Oh, it's super arbitrary.
Yeah.
Most of the good consoles are not region locked.
I actually got my PlayStation 2 modded back in the day to play both PAL and NTSC.
Nice.
I modded my
That's what's up.
PS2 console so that I could do that.
That's
Because
what's
I was
up. You know,
sick and tired. I was sick and tired of it.
speaking of region lock Smash IP clones, One Piece, as we were talking about earlier, my only exposure to One Piece outside of watching it on Adult Swim with no context, and then the live action Netflix series right now, is there is a 8-bit WonderSwan color game that is a One Piece game, but it's a Smash clone. So you can choose from like 10 of the One Piece cast, or maybe like 11 or something. Not too big. And it's from the early 2000s, so it's probably very outdated at this point. But you can play as a good cast of characters in a 2D pixel-based Smash clone, and it is very fun, especially on that console, which is almost only anime adaptation. So the fact that one of the... Because the console was made by Bandai, who make a lot of anime. So it was kind of just... And it was only released in Japan, so it was just an anime license game machine, basically. But the One Piece Smash clone on it, very solid game.
Is Studio Ghibli becoming an IP, Bill, in your opinion?
100%.
Okay. Let's...
In my opinion, I would actually say no. I think that certain characters have become their own IP, including Totoro. He's taken on a life of his own. But when it comes to the studio as a whole, you know, the newest one is being premiered at the New York Film Festival. It's pretty big, but it's like, it's not really... It's an IP in the same way that, Greta Gerwig directed Barbie. I'm more interested in that now. Christopher Nolan's making Oppenheimer. I guess I'll go see it because I love Nolan.
But Barbie's gonna turn into an IP though because of the multiple movies. It's gonna be like a franchise.
Don't remind me,
those are
man.
all
I get
part of-
nightmares at night about that.
Those are all part of
Do
a
you really?
franchise that...
I wake up from a deep sweat.
Those are all going to be part of a franchise that likely will have an overarching story or relations to the other films. Studio Ghibli movies don't really relate to one another in that sense. They're not really interconnected that way.
And Miyazaki himself is just not a capitalist. He is not a capitalist.
That's
Like,
that's
to put
music
it
to Bill's
lightly.
ears.
But
Well,
he creates
yes.
so many marketable mascots.
He does, but if you look at his films, especially his plot structure, they would not be produced by any studio out here. They would not, because they do not have a 3X structure. They have a different kind of
Considered,
structure,
like,
which
meandering.
Yes, exactly, which would be considered here to be meandering. Have you guys ever seen Kiki's Delivery Service?
No,
Yeah.
I haven't.
What?
Okay, highly
There
recommend.
are a lot of Miyazaki films I've not seen.
Oh.
Me too. But that's one of the only ones I've seen. I've only seen, I think, 3.
I've seen...
But, I mean, the
2.
plot, man.
Yeah.
But the plot of especially most of his films, like Kiki's Delivery Service in particular, it is very meandering. There's no resolution. It's not building towards a climax. It's experiential. It's about this character's emotional state and what she's doing now and how that affects her emotional state. And that kind of film being a commercial success in your country, that's impressive, man. That's not IP. That's not using stimulation to trick the masses. That's telling an actual story. That's providing a place to just chill for an hour and a half.
I'll take that.
Yeah, so yeah, I would say that I don't agree that Ghibli is an IP or anything like that. But they are a marker of quality in the same way that brands like Cadillac and Gucci
Disney.
are. Yeah, Disney. You hear the name and you're like, oh, that's probably good.
While Disney and it isn't, and a lot of their early works weren't interconnected, but they had a lot of marketable mascots like Studio Ghibli's. Or,
Yeah, but
Disney-
they
Disney
capitalized
didn't-
on that.
Disney
Yeah,
didn't start.
we have come to a fork in the road. Do we go Disney or do we go Ghibli?
So Meg, hold on, really quickly. Meg just messaged me and she was like, "Are you guys coming out tonight?" And I said, "We're in the middle of filming our podcast." And she said in caps, "That's on Fridays. Why are you all switching it up?" Well, if you watch this episode, Meg, you'll understand why we're filming today.
Meg,
so watch the episode.
There was
Because
technical
reasons.
difficulty.
Watch the episode.
Technical difficulty.
I am very technically difficult.
Oh my god, I almost made a joke. That was so bad.
Make the joke.
Seabass,
I'll
I was
edit
trying to
it
get
out.
canceled.
Did you just stop yourself from getting canceled, Seabass?
Oh god.
Nice.
Oh man, that could have been rough. Okay.
That
The
was
foresight.
Awesome.
He ain't no Shane Gillis.
Fantastic episode.
Jesus.
He ain't no Shane Gillis, baby. He ain't
Oh,
canceled, Seabass.
All I'm
over
saying
here.
is we might have had to re-record this episode again.
I could edit it
Damn,
out.
how is it
technical.
gonna,
How
How
is
is it gonna taint? Is it gonna corrupt your footage? Jesus.
It sounds corrosive, so let's not unleash it upon the world.
I'll tell you
Okay,
off
so
stream,
you know,
Michael.
rolling. Okay, yeah, tell us later. Rolling with the punches about what we've been talking about so far. Let's double down on the question from earlier. And what's an IP that you would make a fighting game out of? What's your dream IP fighting game? And we'll start with Sebas.
They already did one with mine, so I just don't know what. Like Star Wars it's already been done with Battlefront.
Not
So
well enough, man. Heroes and Villains is a little obscure mode
Heroes and
within a
Villains is
larger
what-
game.
Heroes and Villains is not obscure. Everyone and their mother played that growing up.
But if there was a whole game based on character-to-character combat,
I mean, no, there hasn't been for that, but I just don't think Star Wars would ever do that to begin with. You know, I wish they would, but I don't think that'll happen. I would like to see, perhaps maybe, I would like to see, honestly, the one I'm thinking about is Multiverse, but not just for Warner Brothers. I would like to see this is just me, like a Disney fighting game with all Disney characters. So think of it, Marvel, Star Wars, like Mickey Mouse, animation, Pixar, like throw them all in there, get a Smash game going. Woo! Ooh! Woo! I would
wish,
play it.
honestly.
I would play it all day, every day.
I
All
would
day,
play
every
the
day.
crap out of that.
Same.
Mickey being the Mario, Minnie
Yeah.
being
Oh,
the
100%.
it'd be so
100%.
good.
100%. You know?
A bunch of Disney-themed items, a bunch of Disney-themed
Oh, yeah.
stages.
I think it'd be a lot
my
of fun.
God.
I think it'd be
I
a lot
want
of
to
fun.
fight in Disneyland-inspired stages, dude. I want to fight in the Haunted Mansion. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, I mean, you kind of have that though in regular Smash. Luigi's Mansion.
I'm gonna take you down on the Dumbo ride.
Luigi's Mansion, kind of the same thing.
Don't you even mess with my Dumbo, dude.
verbatim the same thing.
I mean, kind of. What I'm hearing from your explanation is a Smash clone with Disney characters, but I would love it. I would
Yeah.
love it so much.
Me too. Yeah, Smash clone with Disney characters. Absolutely. I'd
They
play the
made
hell
an
out of
Animal
it.
Crossing clone with Disney characters, so the hope is there.
Yeah.
Oh, the Dreamlight thing.
Dreamlight Valley, and then before that there was like Magical Kingdom Paradise 1 and 2 on the
I'm
3DS.
telling you.
Before that, there was the thing you had to buy the action figures, the Infinity.
Disney
or whatever.
Infinity, yes.
My God, what a freaking racket that was!
See, that's why I'm afraid, Sebastian, because you're talking about a Disney game, which means that it would be monetized to the moon and back. Like, you would have to pay for Mickey. You would have to pay for Mickey's Steamboat Willie skin. You would have to pay for classic Minnie. Yeah, it would be crazy, and they would never give you a character. You'd have to go into a lottery thing.
And you know what?
Half of them will be skin alts
And
or
you know
something
what?
like that.
They would make a ton of money.
They would
A
make
ton of money.
Disney, if you're listening to this, please disregard what we just said. Don't
Either
do
disregard it or pay us for the idea.
Because you know the game is going to be a free download for sure. It's everything in-game purchases that you'll have to do. It'll be in-game purchases.
Was Warner Brothers Multiverses like that?
Yeah,
It was free. It was
but
free.
It is a free to play.
Yeah, it was free.
Yeah, you could
Interesting.
purchase skins. They had a battle
Yeah.
pass.
Yeah.
Dang.
That's
So,
where
yeah,
that's where
Disney-
we are.
Disney very likely to go free to play because that's just who they are.
Valorant is also free.
I mean, being free to play is not inherently evil. I'm just saying Disney in particular be very greedy. It would be a very greedy free to play model is what they would institute.
Bob Iger's eyes would light up.
Oh yeah.
He wants to be as rich as Nintendo, man. He dreams about it at night while sweating his ass off.
He's richer.
He will become Mario.
All right, I'm going to
all the
say
coins.
let's move to the closing topic of the episode. Cut it a little early,
Okay.
a little less work in
Yep.
the editing
All right,
room.
cool.
Yep.
Sounds good.
So what do we want to cover for the last few minutes of the episode?
Well,
I mean, off the record-
Bill's little therapeutic session. Give it to us.
Yeah.
So we want to cut the rest of the segment. We want to do the therapy right now?
Yeah.
I
All
want
right,
to do
cool.
the
Sounds
therapy.
good.
I'm down for the therapy.
All right,
Therapize
fellas.
me.
All right, fellas. This concludes the IP fighting game portion of the evening. We will decide what other imaginary IP fighting games we will do in a later date. Right now, let's just take a minute. Let's end the episode on a personal note, and we're going to do our classic segment, Icebreakers. Today's question concerns not your childhood, but your more recent past. My question for you all today is, what is something that you have learned in the last 3 months that has kind of changed your perception? What is an idea, a fashion choice, a piece of media, a book you've been reading, like anything that has just kind of shaped your perception in what you think, at least at this moment, is a sizable way, within the last 3 months in particular. We can think about it for a minute. We can rest on it. And as we think, let me just say, subscribe if you haven't.
Not
Tell
the
your
plug.
friends.
Leave a comment.
Leave a comment.
Hit that like button.
Hit the like, maybe hit the like
And the
button.
bell.
Hit the bell.
Turn on
But
those
honestly,
push noties.
if you're watching this right now, even if you're
We
related to
appreciate
us,
you. I appreciate you so much.
to be completely honest, thank you. Thank you very much. Even if you're related to us, thank you. Thank you,
Related.
everybody. Yeah, if you're our immediate blood family, doesn't matter.
If you're the
you.
council members, we
if
appreciate
you're
you
a U.S. senator, it doesn't matter, man. Thank you. And also, what the fuck are you doing?
What is happening?
I have mine.
All right, fellas, we're gonna continue the segment. Seabass is gonna go first.
I really think that the whole Barbenheimer experience really, I don't know if it changed me, but it really did bring a lot of hope back into me within our industry specifically that we're all involved in here. For a while there, because of COVID and everything that was going on, and the film industry was really like, if there was a void that I felt in my heart that something didn't feel the same, it wasn't there, and I just was losing love for film for some reason, just as time was going on. And this Barbenheimer thing came back on, and then obviously us doing this podcast as well is a big part of it. It really reignited my blood for film again, and I'm more excited about film than I've ever been in a long time again. So and just doing that experience in Barbenheimer really was just I needed that, but I know on some level the industry needed that, and I was really happy to just be a part of that in any kind of way.
I completely agree. And also, for those who don't know, Seabass was indeed dressed up like Oppenheimer, and his date was indeed dressed up like Barbie during the Barbenheimer day, and they did do that double feature. They did it kosher, 100% copacetic. That's awesome, dude. I feel that. What about you, Condor?
I would say this is probably more than 3 months ago, but Across the Spider-Verse, watching that and just learning kind of the technique of using color and practically still images to express a certain emotion and also elicit certain emotions from audience members. I thought that movie handled that beautifully, and like even like in those still moments, they were very like you felt the weight of those moments emotionally, and I think that was I think I want to see if there's a way in my future work to implement something like that.
I feel that. Are you talking about the scene between Gwen and her dad? By
Yes,
chance?
that scene, but also other scenes that
That's
were
nice.
very much like that. Like there are other scenes in the film that are not as intense as that, but they share those kind of beats that I really enjoyed that. I thought it was really well done.
To the animation, baby. The future of cinema.
Barney?
What about you, Barney?
Something that I bore witness to was the phenomenon that is Taylor Swift's Eras Tour. I think we were all around for a pop culture phenomenon from which we don't often see. It's like seeing the Beatles come. I got to witness the zeitgeist just pour over me like a tsunami. Like, people were actually causing earthquakes. I don't know if you guys actually like fathom what a collective effort that took to register on the Richter scale.
Yeah, incredible.
But holy shit.
And not just
You were
Literal
part of
force
that?
of nature.
And not just that, it's her all that now has made all these artists realize that they can walk away from these managers that they have that are just shitting on their music and selling
Just
them.
my
Like
God.
everyone has left Scooter Braun now. Justin Bieber, Ariana Grande, Harry Styles. Like every time I get on Twitter, a different artist has left Scooter Braun now.
Like
Every single one of them, and it's amazing. I'm so glad that these artists are taking ownership back of their music, which is where it should be. So
Of course, man.
Bonnie,
That's what these
100%.
strikes are all about, baby.
Yeah.
Taking ownership again.
Of your art.
It's gonna be sweet. Yeah,
Your-
exactly. It's your word. Her
It's
Taylor's
your-
versions, that's a beautiful thing philosophically. I'm not a huge
Yeah.
fan, but the fact that she's doing that, that's awesome.
Yeah, agreed. Very good one, Bonnie.
Awesome. Yeah, good one, Barney.
Bill.
So mine, the thing that has shaped me the most in the past 3 months. Let's see. To be honest, it has been so as you may tell from listening to this podcast a lot, I am very involved in the world of media. I like storytelling. It is probably my primary passion. And I like fiction a lot. I like what it does. I like the human aspect of it, how it helps us reckon with things that we may have not directly experienced, but we can still empathize with, we can still understand. But the thing that's affected me most in the past 3 months has probably been more to do with real life. I've just been feeling good lately. I've been feeling more in my body. I've been feeling more connected to the earth. I go outside a lot. The sunshine, it's amazing. And also my friends. I have very good friends. They make me feel good. They make me feel grounded. And that's been the thing that I've really been holding on to in the past 3 months, has been like a reestablishment with the world in which I exist, and what's good about it and what's just is about it. I'm feeling good, man. I'm feeling at harmony, and I'm excited for the future. That's how I've been feeling. The real world. I like being out in the real world. I like seeing my friends. I like breathing air, and I like getting that sweet sun on my skin. That's what I've been noticing in the past 3 months.
Damn.
Nice.
Someone get the tissues.
I'm
got me
about
crying.
to lose control, y'all.
It's got me crying over here.
And with that,
Oh,
we end the
Wait,
re-recording.
one more thing. I just watched the American Horror Story trailer, and Kim Kardashian has a big role in it. She's in a lot of this trailer as a character.
I'm not interested. Not interested.
Jeez.
All right, so thank you for watching, everyone. Thank you for listening.
Are you interested in American Horror Story? Say yes or no in the comments.
Yeah, please leave a
Comment
comment. How
down
do you feel
below.
about Kim Kardashian scabbing?
This could have been filmed before. Well, such the aggression.
Anyway, I have no love for the Kardashians.
Jesus.
I have a little bit of business respect for them.
I actually have a lot of business respect for them.
I was about to say
Massive
probably
business
more.
respect.
Anyway, comment your respect for them down below. I've been Barty. That's Bilth. That's Seabass. And that is Condor.
Well, yeah, nice try, bud. But yeah,
And we all get it wrong.
I won't.
Do you want to open up a can of
confident
worms?
that
Let's
Seabass,
talk about
that's
how
Bilth,
shitty the
that's Barney.
Kardashians are in the comments.
That is also
Leave a
wrong.
comment of anything you liked or disliked about our video. Any points you would have liked us to make, and leave your points down below in the comments. Hit that like button. Hit the subscribe button for us. It does help us out a lot. Hit that bell
no way
for
to
the
do it.
notifications, so that way you can know when we
Hit the
post.
bell.
We post every Saturday. Follow me at youtube.com/theOmegaCondor for more Yu-Gi-Oh content and general gaming streams on Fridays. Follow Seabass at twitch.tv/Seabass_118. And yeah. Good stuff. Good night, everyone.
Don't
night.
follow me.